We'll be going live here in just a minute. Make sure the
Yep.
TV sound. Thank
It
you.
wasn't on right when I got here. I'm like, oh, it just turned on right as my hand's on the door. I'm like, what? There was like.
Oh, I think we might be live. Hello? I think we are live.
Oh. I don't think so.
Hey,
Maybe.
it says you are live, and on the other screen here, it started playing an ad. Ironically enough, for the Crystal tactics game that we'll talk about later, at least on Sarah's screen.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we're definitely live. Okay.
Hello, everyone. This is Isaac,
This is Tarren.
and we are True
We
Masters and
are True
Morons.
Masters and Morons.
How's
Thank
everyone
you.
doing
Thank
today?
you for letting us know we can hear us.
Yes. Yes, you
So,
are
hi.
live. Okay, cool.
Fun fact: we feel like we're pretty good at editing and making videos. We're still not good at streaming. We don't
We
do it
know
very
nothing
often
about
at all.
live at all.
So hi.
Hello, everyone. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that your ad was Darksiders SLR 409.
Mine was something else, but that's beside the point.
Okay, so I know probably a lot of you are really, really excited about hearing about Darksiders Genesis and our opinion on that. We are going to save that until probably the second or third thing that we talk about, just to make sure that everybody.
We want to get as many people filtered in as possible.
Yeah, so we do want to save that. So with that being said, the way that we're going to do this stream, the way we'd like to do it, is we're going to set it up so that we're going to watch through the trailer. So whatever the shortest version of the trailer is, not the gameplay or anything like that, just the quick trailer. Then we will sit and talk about our opinions, how we feel about it, what we've learned, and what we are most excited about. Since we're not going to start with Darksiders Genesis, though, we have to start somewhere. So we're going to go ahead and start with one that Tarren and I are both very excited for. Hang on, I'm getting something off to the side here. Okay.
SLR 409. We're very happy to talk to you guys as well, and thanks everybody for coming out.
Yeah. So
glad, Jellydeath, we're glad you think the suspense will make it better. I just realized I was popping my knuckles right next to my mic. I hope none of you could hear that. I'm sorry.
Could hear that.
Could hear that, you know.
So we're gonna start off.
We're
gonna start off with something else that we are extremely excited for as well, and that is.
You're just fine, Madison. We're just getting started.
Yeah, you're good. We're gonna start off with Legend of Zelda.
Okay, so this E3 has been funny, and you got it started. Okay.
Yeah, I got it started. It's going. You should be able to see it on your screen through Skype, Tarren.
You're so cute. Skype hates me. You know this.
Well, that's why I had you watch crap.
If you make sure that you can hear this, supposedly we've got it set up so you can, but just let us know.
Yeah.
For sure.
Please let me know. Oh my gosh, that is loud.
Yup.
Yeah, please let us know if you can hear us, hear the game, hear him. Yeah, I had to make it quiet. I was going deaf.
There we go. That's better.
Okay. Is now in development. Bum bum bum. All right.
Yeah, so there's probably going to be some pretty serious delay for you guys just because of
how it works.
How it's all set up. But
so I'm just gonna have that playing in the background so we have something to look at. But you won't be able to hear it anymore. But yeah, go ahead, Tarren.
Oh, just Novad said what interested me about this trailer is the glowing hand seal. Yeah, I'll be very interested to find out what magic glowing hand is stuck in what is obviously Ganondorf's chest. But this E3 has been very interesting for me because there's a couple of things that stood out very first, like Darksiders Genesis, obviously, we're kind of like, okay, this is the most exciting thing that happened. And then there was something else that came, and something else that came, and something, and then this, and then I saw this one. I'm like, oh, this jumped to the top so fast
And
because
yes,
I absolutely adored Zelda Breath of the Wild. That is my
yeah.
favorite Zelda game.
Top
It jumped right up to
easily.
the top.
It jumped up to the top real quick for him. And yeah, David, I cut the sound. We're just gonna have the video playing so that you don't look at a blank screen for, however long we're gonna do this. So it'll just be the trailers running in the background after we watch it once. So Tarren, this is all the information that we have on the Breath of the Wild sequel at the moment.
Yep,
What
just this relatively vague trailer.
this relatively vague trailer. What are your opinions thus far? What is like what are your opinions? Like I want to know. Cuz I
My
enjoyed it
first
but
and
not even
foremost,
half as much as you did. The Breath of the
my
Wild.
my my first and foremost opinion is yes. I want it. Like, well, just quick side note to divert from that. Most of the things that really excited me that were released, game wise for E3, were all Nintendo Switch games, which
Oh,
is
I know.
funny because up until this E3, Breath of the Wild was it. Didn't care about anything else that was even on the entire console. Now it's like, and this is out, and this, well, sorry, and this is coming out, and this is coming out, and this is coming out. But for this one, I'm very interested to see what happens because it looks to me, based upon this is right below the Hyrule Castle area, which is where you have the
Yep.
final fight with him. And
With
I know you
Ganon,
don't know
yeah.
this, Isaac, because you never beat the game, but his
I
boss fight
will.
was buried in a basement beneath that.
So, yeah.
Um,
And that very much looks like it's one of those mummy things from all of the shrines.
I mean, it could be put together the same way, but it's not them, obviously. But to me, that's very clearly Ganon. He's
Okay.
got everything that look about him. And I went through and did some pausing when I watched this the first time. There's that shot of like flash of light where you see shadows and things right there. That one.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Oh, that does look like Ganon. You're absolutely right.
yeah. So in the shadow, he's a buffer
Let
Ganon-like
me see if I
figure.
can quickly
Um,
find that. I mean, we
and
have the trailer up here. We might as well.
yeah, it's a little bit
So it'll
before
be
that.
coming up here. Oh,
Um,
it's like literally
but
right.
then right around before
Uh,
that, you see Link's hand get all glowy, and so I'm interested to see what the relationship there is. Um, in point of
oh,
fact, they
and
could really just
there's the
do.
glowy Link hand.
Yeah, there's the glow link in. In point of fact, they could just do exactly the same gameplay with a pretty decent story, and I'd probably play it again. But I'm hoping for a little bit more than that. But yes, glowy hand.
All right, I can't get the pause.
Obviously,
Oh well.
another thing that tells me that that's Ganon is that
Uh-huh.
that purple corruption stuff
It's
or
Calamity Ganon crap, right?
calamity. That's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like that's all him very clearly, and I don't know if that thing is keeping him trapped or waking him up or what, but obviously something ticked Link and Zelda off to go like, there's something down here. Let's travel on a giant elephant, and I really want to ride that elephant. I'm not gonna lie. I saw that elephant. I'm like, oh, this looks cool.
So there are two things I
Yeah,
want to talk about.
I'm stoked.
There are two things I want to talk about with it. One is the begging and pleading that a lot of fans are doing, especially female fans, for Zelda to be a playable character in Breath of the Wild 2.
Well, it's interesting because something about just the two of them down here makes it feel like either you'll have that option of choosing one or the other, or maybe very departure from normal will be a co-op. I doubt it'll be co-op. Zelda games are
I
never co-op.
I
But
will admit,
um,
Sarah and I would love for it to be a co-op game.
I feel like loads of people would, and it's not a normal Zelda thing at all. But especially based upon the relationship between this particular version of Zelda and Link and the last game, I think it would be a very good place to put it.
I agree. And here's another reason why, and we'll talk more on Pokemon later, but they have been going a lot more with Pokemon co-op recently when Pokemon was not at all a co-op thing. In the newest Pokemon, there's a whole area where you're going to be able to run around with your friends and do raid battles, but we'll talk more on that later. But so since Nintendo seems to be going more for the doing stuff and sitting around and playing with people, I could definitely see a co-op for Zelda potentially happening. If not, then maybe it's one of those where you switch between the two at certain story points.
Yeah, I could see that. That probably feels more likely to me than co-op. Though again, you make the good point of they've been doing a lot of like this is the console you play with friends. Here, play with friends. So that's a very good argument for co-op for that. But if it's not, I think I could see the switching off back and forth. Hello, are you still there? Oh dear. I think things might have happened to the stream with the Skype.
Into the
Hold
stream.
on, people. Oh. There's an Isaac voice.
Tapped my microphone, and so it lost all knowledge of existing.
Okay.
But so Nintendo kicked it out of the park this year. Holy crap.
Right.
When I sent Tarren the list yesterday of all the things I wanted to talk about, was like half of it was Nintendo stuff. Half of it is either stuff that's coming to the Switch, stuff that is being made for the Switch. Nintendo took the only person, like, it just poo out of the park. It was, I don't have expressions because I'm failing. But I'm excited for more things on the Switch than I am on the Xbox, which is very rare if that's ever happened for me.
Oh yeah, agreed. Yeah, like I said before, I'm like there was more stuff that came out for the Switch that I was interested in than any other specific console or PC thing. Like they just like, oh, you know how we've had like very few things and mostly we've just been porting in old games. Here's all the new stuff you've been waiting for.
Right. So I think we've waited long
yes,
enough.
Lucy, we are Nintendo nerds, but it's a surprise for us too.
Is that a
Don't
bad
worry.
thing? Yeah, no. With all of that being said, I think we've let it go long enough, and I know for a fact that our fans really want to hear what we have to say about a certain video right here. Unfortunately, this account does not have Premiere, so we do still have ads.
So while we go through those ads,
No, ads are done, dude.
Oh, that was super fast. Okay.
I really need to make it so. Hang on. Work Skype.
No, it's fine. There we go. Got this awesome Gigantor door. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be spending this entire trailer looking at Strife's ankles now, just to see what everyone's talking about.
Strife.
Alone. Threaten me and think you're just walking out of here.
That guy is channeling the freaky-legged guy from Diablo so hard. I'm not alone.
Yeah,
I've got the best backup ever.
There are all the comments flooding in now of yes, Zelda playable, Darksiders.
Can we get a review for the ad? So I got to watch the gameplay trailer for this, and it looks for, in general terms, basically everything I was hoping for.
So I didn't think about this, but I am
with
gonna go ahead
Darksiders.
and just pull open the
that
yes
thing I just said.
yes
Gameplay trailer. But yeah, I'm not sure who plays the demon, but I have watched the demo. I think Isaac, you watched the demo too, right?
I did watch the demo. Here it is.
Okay.
I'm gonna mute it because we're gonna be talking. I'm excited for it. I have two big things to say. One is I love the co-op. I love the fact that you get to play Strife and War, and that you get to play them together. I also
I'm
like.
gonna be honest, real quick. I was a little concerned when I first saw this gameplay trailer because it made it look to me like it was just going to be a switch off thing, like you wouldn't have co-op, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And Isaac confirmed that they had confirmed that.
Yeah,
it is.
they had confirmed it.
Anyone continue.
I don't know who it was, but I read an article that talked about playing it co-op, and yeah, so we know that's a fact. But yeah, in this gameplay trailer, we're able to see that if you don't have anybody to play it with, or maybe you just don't feel like dealing with somebody else's bullcrap when you're running around, um, you have the ability to swap between Strife and War, which I personally think is really, really cool that they gave both as an option, both the running
That's a really
around.
good way to do it. I agree.
Yeah, I think that was really well done. For anyone who is curious about the lore of it, so far as we know it takes place before Darksiders 1, and at least for the gameplay trailer, this particular mission is a is legitimately a council mission. That's the word I was looking for. It's a
Yes,
legitimate
you can play
council
with your
mission.
mom. We are also fan squealing.
So legitimate council mission that you can enjoy, and you will be hopefully not screwed over by the council, but who knows.
I feel like it's too early to be screwed over by the council. That all has to wait until Darksiders 1 happens.
I guess that's true.
Or Strife's game if it happens first.
Also,
Speaking
there
of
are a
which,
lot
yes,
of people.
comments.
I will
Go for it.
listen to the comments in a second, but we have a lot of people who are saying that this is Darksiders 4. This is not Darksiders 4. This
Yes,
is not
it's
Strife's
a
solo game.
spin-off,
It's a
free
spin-off.
thing.
It's its own thing. I'm going to
As
find
far
the
as we
official one
know-
because I don't know who did this one, but they're talking about it and they're doing other things, and so I'm going to be right back.
As far as we know, there is hopefully a Strife solo game somewhere in the future. I think this was just them trying to test the waters and get. It might just be all right. So, what kind of gameplay should we use for the hopefully eventual fifth game that has 4-player co-op? Like, this could be a good way to test that.
That too, but also like, what are you going to do for?
According to the comments, it has been confirmed there will be a Strife game specifically. So, fear not, we'll get our full Strifey goodness.
And more than that, like even if this was to be it, like I'm sure this is also a test to go like, how the crap are we gonna run a gun-toting person in the classic third-person style that we've come to know and love in Darksiders 1, 2, and 3? And they're like, we haven't figured that out yet, but here's this other game that you get to play around with him.
On the subject, though, of doing stuff that we know and love, one thing I really do like that's on screen right now is that with this whole Diablo-style setup, you still have the like execution B attacks that you can do on people when they get low enough, which is really cool.
I agree. I'm gonna SLR 409. I do not think that it's a setup council mission, again, just because Darksiders 1 has not actually officially happened yet. Rohith Parakel, welcome. Glad you didn't miss the stream. And yeah, it doesn't look like anyone else is specifically talking about this. So what are you... Go ahead, Tarren.
What am I?
Go ahead.
I was going to say SLR, according to one of our other commenters down here, someone says it was confirmed. We don't know. We haven't found that. Specifically, my life has been thrown into chaos for the last 3 days trying to do this and also having everything I shouldn't have to be doing throwing in my face. So I'm a little behind. I was hoping to be like all prepped like Isaac is here and be like, yes, I've seen these and I've looked into this. I'm not as prepared as I would like, so I'm not 100%
I spent
sure.
literally 4 or 5 hours yesterday just watching all of the various videos that we're going over today. But so what are you most looking forward to watching both the trailer and the gameplay here? What are you most looking forward to for this game?
All right. Well, to answer the mostly unspoken question for everyone, yes, we will play this on the channel when it comes out. That's going to happen.
Tarren's playing War. I'm playing Strife.
Yeah, and that right there, that's what I'm most excited about.
Playing War?
I haven't played War in years.
Okay.
I watched you play him like a year ago, but I have not actually played him in years.
That's right. Originally when we were planning out how to do things and what we were going to do, Tarren was going to be the person who actually played Darksiders 1.
But with scheduling and stuff, we just ended up doing it the other way, and then it felt right to have it keep going. And
So yeah,
because
that's true. You
of
haven't
the
gotten to
two that were
play
released
War
at the
in
time, War's
years.
game and Death's game, I was a War fanboy. Isaac was a Death fanboy. We're like, all right, Tarren will play 1,
Still a Death
Isaac will play
fanboy.
2, and just the way that things worked out, Isaac ended up playing the first one. He was going to play the second one. We figured we'll just let him play the third one. It makes sense to keep going that way. So for me, the biggest attraction is just that I get to play War, which I haven't
Yeah.
done in ages.
No,
But also, I'm very interested to see how they do it.
uh-huh.
I like conceptually the idea of finally seeing more than one of the horsemen in action together.
Uh-huh.
I'm interested to see their personal interactions, like we've seen from this gameplay trailer. Strife definitely has a little bit of that snark going.
Yeah.
And War is super serious, straight face guy.
So I
And
do
I'm interested to
have
see how that plays out.
a small spoiler thing that I learned while researching.
Go for it.
If the article I read was true, the story of this game is that War and Strife have been sent to stop Lucifer from screwing up the balance in hell.
How is he screwing up the balance? He runs it.
You would think. I don't know the exactitudes. All I know is that supposedly a big player, whether you see him or not, is apparently going to be Lucy. So we'll see whether or not we see his ugly demon face for the first time in this game.
We're totally not seeing his face. I can
You don't
promise
think
you
so?
that.
Okay.
They've done too much. He's only
They've
in the
done so
shadows.
many.
You see columns of darkness of whatever his room is, and that is all. He
Yeah.
might send Lilith after us. That would be hilarious.
I absolutely believe we will fight. I almost guarantee you that we will fight Lilith and at very least meet Samael.
See, I think we'd be more. I feel like
game.
we'd be more likely to run into Sam or to fight Samael, mostly because Lilith tries to be manipulator lady and not get into physical fights.
Is it going to be too much to ask for a side mission somehow to allow us to play as Wicked K? If they allow you to play as Wicked K, it will probably just be a skin or an alternate character that has no canon effect at all on the game, but I do think that would be fun.
Although I would love if there is some sort of Wicked K side mission. That would make me very happy.
Oh yeah, just some like not even a play him, but a like
just like a side quest, like
a side
not
quest
necessarily
like
or anything,
in
but
War,
just like the others,
in
a little
Darksiders
side
1
thing
or
of,
something.
hello, I'm Wicked K. I sound British. I'm vaguely obnoxious, and I'm going to beat you with a cane. Let's do.
Yeah. So all in all, I am super excited for this. He is super excited for this. We will be playing it on the channel. I will be playing Strife. The only thing that would have kept me from playing Strife would have been if it was Death instead of War. That was the side person. And then Tarren be playing Strife. But so with all of that being said, we want to know, do you guys have any questions for us about this game? There's a bit of a lag time, so I want to know what your main questions are, or what?
Sorry, I was reading the comments. Go on.
Okay.
I'll tell you what it said in a minute.
What your main questions are about our opinions of the game, what you want to know about our opinions of the game, and what you are all most excited for. So we want to hear about that. So go ahead, Tarren. What was this comment that you read that was worthy?
First, Jelena says from their website, Lucifer, the enigmatic and deceptive demon king, has been plotting to upset the balance by granting power to master demons throughout hell. So that's how that's going to go.
Aha.
The one that I laughed was Carmine. It says, plot twist: the main bad guy is Wicked K.
I'd be alright with that. Abaddon was screwing with the balance. Yeah, that's the whole thing of Darksiders 1. I also wish Death was in this mission. It was in this game, Medicine.
Yeah, actually, when it first came out, I'm like, all right, so are they going to have all of them? Is it because because I mean, I think that's what we all think when you just hear Strife. He pulls out his gun. It's like, oh, I'm not alone. And you're like, oh, are they all here? Do we get a four player whatever council walk? Because that would be amazing. I do believe know, Vad, that they will show Strife's Horseman form? Because Isaac pointed out that there's like a special meter that he charges, but never.
No. We will get to see it in this game, yes, but unfortunately, this video we don't get to see it. But as
Right,
you can
yeah,
see
but
in the
it's
upper
like
left-hand corner, I have a mouse.
Yeah, that's
As
what I
you
was
can
saying.
see,
Because Isaac pointed out there's a special meter that he charges but never blows. So we do presume there will be a Strife super mode that you get to see.
yeah. Is this game canon?
Is this?
Yes, this
I
game
say, as far
is
as I know,
canon.
they haven't made
as
a
far as we know.
non-canon anything yet. It's pretty much all Darksiders content is
Yeah.
canon.
There's been not a single thing, even the things that have come after that have like semi tried to decanonize some of the comic, like the comics and book don't and games don't all agree on certain things, like whether the Nephilim are old ones or if they're this, and it's a lot of
Yeah,
weird
but
crap.
they seem to have taken a fairly solidified stance after Darksiders 2. So it's the stuff that's before that's a little
Yeah,
goofy.
so anything like made before Darksiders 2 is a little wonky. That being said, everything is still technically canon. So
As far as we know.
yeah.
Rohith, we too eagerly await that
I have been waiting for that
player co-op.
I have been waiting for that 4-player co-op since the first game came out. Okay? I went and I was so pissed. So, second game came out, I played it, and I was super excited, and I went and looked it up. There was an interview after THQ shut down that was found out, and there was an interview where the director behind the game was like, yeah, our original plan was we wanted to do 4 games, one for each of the 4 horsemen, and then a 4-player co-op game. That was their plan from the beginning, and then they shut down, and I was pissed until THQ Nordic came back.
Guys,
took
do you
over.
know what that white bar is?
In his like weird fire bar? No, I have no idea what that is.
Okay. Someone in the comments was asking. I'm like, I don't know what it is.
I
I'm
don't know what
afraid.
it is. I haven't looked that deep into it. I apologize, everyone.
If we get the 4-player post-apocalyptic game we're all hoping for, do you think the playstyle will follow this or be like the main series of games?
I hope
I had in the past pictured something more like
the main games.
Something a little bit more like that, yeah. Like a lot of those
hope
you have third-person smash around, like for lack of any better recent comparison, Monster Hunter World, where you're third-personing around doing stuff.
Monster Hunter World, yeah. I will say I hope that that's the case.
Of this one, they may do it this way. I don't know. As long as it's well made, I don't really care.
I agree.
As long as it's a well put together game, I'm not especially picky about what version of co-opness they do.
I do still hope that we get to do the third person thing because I loved playing it that way. But I would totally be okay if it was done this way. If it was done this way in the end. That being said, I did see. Go ahead, Tarren.
According to Jeleneth, for the person asking about the fiery bar earlier, that is his. Where did it go? It's a power up for his gun. It lets him fire faster when it's full.
Okay.
Oh, Carmine, if we could break into THQ legally and find out things. Oh,
dude, if THQ would want to like say hey to us and we can discuss stuff, our lore videos would be so much easier to do.
According to our personal interview with the developers of the game, this is what's happening.
This is the fact.
That would be amazing.
That'd be awesome.
We haven't, but we should just send them a call and be like, hey.
Hey, we do a lot of this, and a lot of people like it. Can you help us out, please? But we also got a question earlier. Unfortunately, I don't remember who said it, which was, what is your favorite Darksiders game and why?
That was SLR 409.
Okay, SLR. So I was a huge Darksiders 2 fanboy because I love death. I love the customization of it. I love everything about it. That being said, 3 is fighting for it.
Right? Sorry, Loldra just said if we had been able to break in, we'd know who or what the Tempest was, and I agree. Because no one knows.
Because no one knows.
Go on and continue.
3 is like fighting it for me. 3 is super fun. I like the story of it the most. It has a lot of character building. I like everything. I have no negatives about it, except that I play Fury and not Death. And And I love Death so much, and I love the character that is Death. I love the story around him. I love the way he plays. So while as much as I want to say it's technically a fight between the two, I think my favorite might actually be 3 now.
Okay. I'm a big story guy. More story the better. So for me, it feels like there's a little bit more story in 2. That could just be because it's a longer game.
It is a longer game. There's
So
no argument here.
That sort of draws me that way. But I agree. I feel like 3 was a wonderfully executed game. It was once you got a hang of it, it felt clean and good. And so I haven't actually played it, guys. I don't have time to do fun things.
No,
anymore.
he's seen as much of that game as anybody who has watched only our Let's Plays, because he's watched only our Let's Plays.
I've seen a little bit more.
And he's watched only our Let's Plays and a bunch of other videos on it. He himself has not played it, though.
Yeah, I played it for like 5 seconds, because our roommate got it and I fiddled with it for a minute. But wait, no, I didn't. I'm a crazy person. I just thought about doing that.
I'm like, no.
Wow.
What?
All right. Oh.
Anyway.
What was I saying? I was saying something. Oh yeah. So and maybe it's just because it's recent or something, but 3 felt wonderful. I loved the, character growth is always nice. It's not required if the character is all put together and whatnot. That's fine. But since she started out as a douche,
but that story was also made to give her character growth.
Oh no, it is. I know. I just there's a thought sometimes for people like, well, if your game or your book or your show or your movie or whatever doesn't involve character growth, then it's not a good whatever. And I, as a fan of character growth, I feel that I need to point out that that's not always true. My favorite characters generally happen to be the ones that go through the most growth. For example, that's why I love Barney from How I Met Your Mother, because he goes through more personal growth than anyone else in that show.
Absolutely, he does.
But not having personal growth is not bad. So I have no beef with the lack of that in both Darksiders 1 and 2. But anyway.
So last question that from the audience that I'm going to take that's not directly related to the E3 release here is somebody asked, do you think that Fury will get a new horse, or will Rampage be revived? As much like I hate the idea of her getting a new horse, so I want to say Rampage will somehow be revived. Maybe the 7th seal being broken will revive her horse, because there have to be 4 horsemen. That being said, I feel like it would make it's more likely.
All the things in sense. All right.
Yeah, it is. I feel like it's potentially more likely that we're gonna see a new horse. I could be completely wrong, but we will see.
They may also just skip the horse thing again, because let's face it, mounted combat is hard.
Yeah, that is true. I feel like people would feel a little gypped for the 4-player game if they didn't have 4 horsemen, though.
I don't know.
But we'll see. So
Novad says, I bet money Fury rides a human into battle.
All right, so are there any other comments that you want to discuss about this game? Are there any other things you want to discuss about this game?
To Rohith, yes, you can switch back and forth between characters freely, and in co-op you both have to be able to mantle, so War can climb stuff. He might look different when he does it, I don't know, but you can do all the traversal stuff with both characters.
With both characters, yeah. So I think that's basically everything we really had to talk about for this game. Was there anything else you wanted to do for final comments for this turn?
I don't have anything specific to say other than, big old nasty demon boss fights look fun in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
There's this nostalgic part of me that likes that they brought back the demon eye lock things for the you can't go past this.
Yeah, from Darksiders 1.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I think that's just because those were demon-based, and we didn't really...
Yeah, no, it's thematically appropriate, but it still just makes me happy.
All
It's like there
right.
was another trailer we looked at. I don't know if we're gonna have time to look at it today, but there was one of those. I can't even really say this game looks good, but it makes me happy to watch.
Oh,
And that was the
uh,
they're doing a Dark Crystal Tactics game.
we will
Just
probably get
sure,
to that one.
but
But that is it for that one. Thank you all so much. I know how much you were hoping to listen to that. Final thoughts.
yes,
Really excited. Really want to play it. Will play it when it comes out.
hope you all enjoy it when it comes out to Ladra High. Well, he's I butchered that name. While Isaac is switching over to other stuff. I too thought that was very interesting that Strife has very similar shadowy wings to War's glide,
To be
considering
fair,
War got
War.
from Samael.
Yeah,
But
exactly. War got those from Samael. I'm confused as to where those come from. We'll see if that gets an explanation or not.
or if Strife is just like I have wings because
Well, and
Strife,
War has them too.
deal with it.
You see him in that commercial. He also has those same wings,
Right. They are visually different. They're a little bit different.
but still.
And mechanically it makes sense that they would both have the same abilities, which is why I'm like, yes, they can both, climb and whatnot. But it is a thing of like, I do wonder where / how Strife got his stuff.
I agree. All right, so this is the next game we're going to talk about.
Oh, I have an addiction.
Yes, you do.
I'm not even good at this game. Like
No,
I
you're
have
not.
the backer builds and stuff. I'm better than the last time Isaac saw me play. Because this has been like my one guilty pleasure when it's like, all right, it's Sunday. I'm finally done with everything for this week. I'll take like an hour or two and play this. This is a trailer for Phoenix Point. You guys have seen us do a couple of Let's Plays on the various backer builds for that. What surprised me about this is actually, I'll just wait and not spoil it in case someone hasn't seen this. But what was I saying?
Yeah, Novet, of course we're going to mention this. We played it like 4 times on the channel.
I mean, to be fair, Lodril High, I'm going to say your name correctly just once. When it comes to wing dimensions on creatures, most media tends to make wings that are too small for whatever they're supposed to be on. So yeah, that shot just skeeves me out, man.
It just makes me think of one of the factions in the game. So
Right?
that's all of this commercial makes me think of, is that it's about the that particular one.
That we do a little bit of alien stuff in our own stuff faction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
September
So,
2019.
What really surprised me is right there. That comes out of September this year.
Yeah.
That bumped up so much because the last I heard, it wasn't going to be coming out for, I think,
Until
around
2020
November or something like that. So it got bumped up to, hey, it's coming out in like what, 2 months, 3 months?
4 months. September,
Regardless,
October,
way sooner than I
November,
thought.
December.
I'm like, oh,
so 3
snap,
months.
that is awesome.
So I have this to say about that. After both playing and watching the last backer build, and I went and made a comment on this video, they have a lot to do in 3 months to get this up and ready.
I would assume that they've done a good portion of that already, but yeah, we haven't seen any of the human factions besides New Jericho, and there's 2 others.
Yeah.
I have seen every one of the enemy units that they show in this thing.
Yeah. Plus some.
plus a few more psycho crazy things that you guys haven't seen from us. So yeah, this was the funny thing. So the first thing I mentioned this earlier, that this E3 has been like this is the best. Oh, this is the best. Oh, this is the best. So the first thing was Darksiders Genesis. I'm like, okay, this is the coolest thing that comes out. And then I saw the trailer for Zelda. I'm like, oh, my heart is stolen. And then I saw this. I'm like,
well, and then I asked him, what are
Zelda
you
really hard?
and then I asked him, what are you most excited for? And he's like, Zelda. I'm like, oh yeah, I figured it'd either be the new Zelda or the fact that Phoenix Point has a release date. And he's like, what? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, I missed that. So for you, David, what is this game? It is if you've ever played XCOM or anything like it,
it's made by the same people who
top-down
made the
tactical
original
turn-based
XCOM.
shooter. You versus aliens, except this particular version of aliens is more like mutants from space, because basically the story is you uncovered this disease.
The story is we've talked about it in a
Well,
previous
I'm just going to
video.
give like a real quick one. I would be
Okay.
done already, but you interrupted me. You uncover a disease in the North Pole. It gets released. Spore clouds cover the earth, making all of these things out of people and animals and whatever. Flash forward to humanity's trying to survive against this encroaching alien horde, and you are playing Phoenix Point, which is an organization designed to basically keep everyone alive. There's various factions on your side that you'll have to deal with, ally with, make enemies with, get help from, steal from, etc. And then on top of that, there's all the aliens that you're trying to overcome and save humanity. To Novad's question, can you play as the creature factions? Not as
Yes
far as
and
I
no.
know, but there is one faction that is like they have some mutated units and like psychic stuff. So like the one unit we know about from that faction, I can't remember what it's called, but basically it can mind control an alien creature, and so it comes in. Think like a hunter from WoW. It's got a pet that it
Yeah.
goes and attacks with. So and I do know that research and capturing of aliens will be involved, so presumably there will be a certain degree of getting more cool tech stuff from researching of them, much like XCOM. These guys are some of the guys behind this are the guys who had designed the original XCOMs before the newer ones came
Yep.
out, and so they've played a lot with some of the stuff. They feed off each other. I've
And
been excited about
to-
this game for a while.
Yeah, and to Carmine saying, "Oh no, I really hope they're not being overworked for this game."
They've been working on this for a few years.
They've been
I mean,
working
I
on this
think
for a few
that-
years, and more than that, they did just get this game purchased by a bigger publisher. I'm trying to remember the name.
Was it purchased or just partnered with? I thought it was just partnered with.
It might have been just partnered with. Point is, given a backing to give it more people and more money to be able to allow more things to happen. So they are not being they should not be being overworked due to the fact that they were working together with another group here.
Lil High says, I find creepiest the side view of the alien slowly moving its legs, because it seems like they're trying to mirror a sexy woman sitting shots, and I'm just like,
All right. Well, obviously we were excited about this, wanted to touch on it. We've done
some more than others because I have issues.
Yeah, we've done I think 3 different Let's Plays in it now. Super excited.
Yeah.
And
if I had my way, at least one more when the actual game comes out, but that's for later.
Well, we actually have at least 2. We have one for when the game comes out, and then one more that we already have planned. So, but that's about all we have to say about that one. So, on to the next game.
Oh, this was a surprise. This was
it was. Surprise. This was a huge surprise. Huge surprise for us.
So this is Baldur's Gate 3. This is the trailer for Baldur's Gate 3.
Yep.
If anyone watching this trailer right now is eating,
oh, please stop.
Till it's done.
Stop doing any eating. Stop doing anything that is remotely going to make you vom, because it's bad.
Because it just spoilers. This trailer's gross. And there we go.
Hey, look, it's my teeth.
Yeah, I didn't notice that before. That's foul. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of looked away for half this commercial the first time because I was eating. So I just kind of like covered my eye. I'm like, all right, I know what's happening. And then looked when the, oh, it's so foul. Oh. That's actually, I assumed worse by not looking at it, so that wasn't actually too terrible. And everyone who hasn't seen this commercial before, I want you to pay attention to the sky behind this guy. Watch the clouds.
Right around here. So for those of you who don't know what Baldur's Gate is, I'm just going to give you a quick overview. Baldur's Gate is a location in the Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten Realms, right?
Forgotten setting, yeah.
Forgotten Realms campaign setting. And Baldur's Gate, the video games, are actually ones that have existed for a very long time and have been had newer ones coming occasionally. The newest one that was made, though, based on my research, was about 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah, it was
Um,
freaking old.
and the very first one I played a little bit of, but the one I played the most of was, you know what? We don't need to watch this over and over again. This is the one that I'll just go ahead and we'll go back to here because we don't need to have that running 50 million times. Um,
Quick interjection while Isaac's talking. Carmine Grasso, Illithids are very Lovecraftian, but we'll get to that in a minute.
But we're really excited. I loved Baldur's Gate 2, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, those games, the Dark Alliance games.
Which were spin-off games, yeah.
Yeah, they were spin-off games for like the PlayStation 2, I think. So I'm really, really looking forward to this. But one thing that makes me super excited about it more than anything else is that it is being created by none other than Larian Studios, the studios that have brought you the entirety of the Divinity series. And so
Isaac has loved all the Divinity games he's played. I've loved the Divinity Original Sin games. We would still be playing the Divinity Original Sin games or have finished them by now on the channel if it weren't for the fact that our views for those really low, so we felt like we had to do something else.
Yeah.
But we have both enjoyed the crap out of those games, and those are done very well, and they do the RPG thing very well. And so knowing that those guys are behind this upcoming Baldur's Gate game is great.
Super excited.
So what are your thoughts on this game?
So I have a few thoughts. One quick thing I want to interject here though is that it is obviously in works with the Wizards of the Coast, you know, the people who make D&D, and to the point that they are making a module for D&D 5.0.
Oh, really?
That is a module that will run 100 years after the last Baldur's Gate game, that literally goes up to and ends at the beginning of this video game.
Oh, that's
so
dirty. All right.
So it's a module in D&D, which I usually don't do. I usually do homebrew stuff. I prefer homebrew with homebrew D&D DMs.
By homebrew in this case, he just means people making their own stories.
Yeah. But this is the one module that I'd be like, well, crap, I guess I need to play a module and find some people to play with me because I really want to know.
For the record, I am all for modules when it comes to using campaign settings like Forgotten Realms, Eberron, that kind of stuff, just because I am not personally familiar with the settings, and so those modules take care of all that for you. It's really nice. But anyway, go on. You were saying.
So I'm excited for everything to do with that. I love the studio that's making it. I love, you know, they've had a thing already in the Divinity Original Sin 2. They had the ability to have a DM and a party doing things in that game.
Yeah, there was like a campaign editor designer thing where you could literally make up a story and then run threads through it live,
which is so cool. And on top of that, what we've heard is that the gameplay is going to be similar to the best they can do to 5.0 D&D, which
would make sense, especially with that module that they're setting up for it.
Which makes sense because if you look at Divinity's gameplay style already, it kind of already is. It's a turn-based where it's no. Don't argue with me here. It's a turn-based thing where each player goes, they get a certain amount of moves, and they get a certain amount of they get a certain amount of action points that they can use to move and to attack. That's essentially how combat works in D&D. You have a movement, you have the ability to move and make an action, all within a certain number of skills and sets and abilities that you have. In my opinion. So go ahead, Tarren.
I would say it's D&D like in that it is a turn-based thing with lots of abilities and stuff. I thought you were going to say it was like 5th edition or 4th or whatever specifically. I'm like,
I don't know for sure.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know it well enough. So,
but that being said, the Baldur's Gate 3, that trailer was a pleasant surprise for me. I will reserve judgment until I see gameplay, but again, I have not been disappointed by Larian's recent stuff, and I would assume it's in the style of
I've never been
Like
disappointed by Larian's anything, so.
I am intrinsically against spending experience points to do things other than leveling. So that's a personal
So the
thing for
mind
me.
reading, the mind reading bugs you. That's right. I remember
I-
that.
Yeah. Anyway, but that's a different point. This was a pleasant surprise for me because I'm not actually a big fan of the Baldur's Gate games.
Really?
Uh,
Even the Dark Alliance games that we played?
Well, I consider that a spin-off.
We will talk about who that
So-
Pokemon is in just a moment, David.
Who's that Pokemon? But so like I played all the way through the first Baldur's Gate, couldn't beat the boss. This was years ago, like when it came out. So I was like, I don't know, 9, 10, 12, somewhere in there. I got all the way through the game, could not beat the boss. Could not do it. Finally gave up. Started playing number 2 sometime after it came out, and it was very clear based on what happened that to me then I realized in hindsight that it might have just been a mystery intentionally that you're supposed to solve as the game goes on, but it looked like it was a wherever I had landed up because you were supposed to be you were the same character for number 1. Even you could change your character and whatnot, but like canonically speaking, you're the same character from 1. And I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know where I am. I don't know. So I just quit. I played it for like 10 minutes, and it's like it was very clearly I didn't even get out of that first dungeon area because you wake up in a dungeon with a bunch of your party members. So for me, there wasn't a great. I'm like, oh, Baldur's Gate 3, whatever. Then I watched the trailer. And I'm like, Illithids. No one ever does Illithids. That's so exciting. And then I'm like, oh, and it's being done by Larian Studios. All right.
Oh, I'm down.
I will give this a chance. I am interested.
Right. No, I agree wholeheartedly.
But yeah, so the Illithids was a big selling point for me, because they're a cool but not often seen D&D creature. For those who don't play in D&D, like there's literally books full of monsters, and they're one of them. They're one of the ones that have been around for ages. But so you have some common things that you see all the time: orcs, dragons, goblins, etc. But then you have some less common things that you don't see as often. And Illithids are one of those, and they're very nasty. They're intelligent, psychic monsters. And the guy turning into one, that's how they reproduce. They put a slug in your head, and then eventually that transforms into an Illithid, and that's how they reproduce. So it's really gross and nasty.
So it's really gross and nasty.
Okay, a Baldur's Gate 3, where Illithids are clearly the big bad thing, or at least one of them, and it's being done by the guys who made the Divinity Original Sin games, which I adore. I am down.
Yeah.
As a quick side note, that flying tentacle Cthulhu monster scares the crap out of me because I only know of one thing Illithid related that is that size, and it shouldn't be able to fly.
I don't know what that is.
It's less scary than normal Illithids are. So, I mean, but it's obviously not that.
So I don't know what that is, but since our chat seems to be exploding about a certain woolly creature on my screen, I think we get to move on to our next game that Sarah and I are extremely excited about. I'm going to go ahead and open up that trailer now. Woot woot. Hold up. Maybe. We'll see whether or not I can get it to work.
You gotta kill the mice, man. They're...
And I have I have a ton of comments for all of the people who are talking about eating Pokemon as soon as this is done. So give me a minute.
Ready, set, trailer. Wait, there we go. The Pokemon from newer generations get just progressively more cutesy and less looking like an actual creature.
He says as we're introduced with the 3 most looking like creature Pokemon intros that we've had. We have a rabbit, a monkey, and a salamander?
Which one of them was a rabbit?
A
I didn't
gecko?
see a rabbit at all.
Dude, one of the main 3. One of the starters is a freaking bunny. It's called Score Bunny.
I don't know their names. I'm just looking at them.
I thought it was Scorch Bunny.
No, it's just Score Bunny. Introducing Sarah, everyone. Sarah and I are super excited for this game to come out, and we have a lot to talk about for it. But as you can see, There's this nice wild area. It's about to show 4 people running out. Those are 4 actual players who can run around in the same world and join to do a raid battle together.
I'd say I love that this is a Pokemon game with raid bosses.
Not only raid bosses, but like to the point that you can defend the opponent, your friends. So you can put up a shield, you can taunt, so you can straight up have a tank, 2 DPS, and a healer if you set up your whole party. It's freaking awesome. And real quick, just on the subject, everybody's talking about eating Wooloo. That's the sheep.
This looks amazing.
It does look amazing. So for anyone who's like, yeah, obviously, wow, lots of people saying hi to Sara.
Hello, everyone.
To anybody who's like, yeah, there are, unless the world is made of vegans in Pokemon, yeah, they eat Pokemon. We've seen cooked Magikarp in the anime.
That's true.
They eat the Pokemon, guys. Like, that's never been argued.
I'm sure
I would just
Pokemon
like to
eat
point
each
out,
other.
I love the whole giant Pokemon thing, but I don't think anyone realized they need a much bigger stadium if they're going to allow that in tournament fights.
No, Tarren, that's the whole point, is that this is big enough to allow that, apparently.
Not based on that shot, it's not. Just the
Oh, here
backblast
comes one of the biggest things we
collateral.
want to talk about, Tarren. So keep an eye in here.
Just the backblasting collateral of those attacks are like killing the audience.
Oh, I know.
members.
Absolutely they are.
I would judge him for just carrying a sword if things like Cubone didn't already exist.
So we do judge him on carrying a sword.
I definitely judge him.
Pokemon Dark Souls Edition. That is the meme. That is what everyone says. And the reason is because, yes, there is a Dark Souls boss who has exactly that. He is a wolf who carries a sword in his mouth. So those are obviously the legends.
Drawn and delicious, Catherine. That's where the line is drawn.
So those are obviously the legendary Pokemon for the Pokemon Sun and Moon games. Oh, you even got me a picture of those. Okay.
I did, side by side.
Okay.
Get a good look at them.
You get a nice little picture here of
There's a comparison coming up. I know. Oh, that. Okay.
yeah, just Sword and Shield here. So
So
we
your
are
legendaries.
so we
With
are
weirdly-
Go ahead.
Yeah. Just their feet are like they're wolfish, and so I assume those are claws, but they look like they're trying to be cloven feet, even though they're claws.
I didn't even notice that until you mentioned it.
Same here, but yeah, that's what it looks like.
So we are super excited for this. I already knew that I was going to pick Shield from when the 2 were announced because I am always the tank. I'm always the in every game that the option is tank and anything else, I'm 99% of the time I'm the tank. So I'm like, "Oh, there's a shield. Cool." So Sarah's like, "Okay, I guess I'm getting sword." And now she's very disappointed because she doesn't like either of the legendaries' looks, whereas I personally like Shield's look. We do want Tarren's opinion though.
Shield has a very leonine wolf-like look. I do think it's a little bit funny that the one just wields a sword, but the other one is a shield. That
Yep.
seems odd to me. Like the duality there, I would think that either the one should be also wielding a shield somehow, or the other one should have a sword built into it. But I did judge the one that's like, oh, the sword Pokemon just has a sword at first, and then I remembered that there's actually a lot of their creatures that have weaponry of some kind or another. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah, like Cubone and Farfetch'd are just holding items and stuff. I know, but
But
still.
they're not named after it or have the legend.
I mean,
Well, we don't know that
Cubone
it,
kind
we
of.
don't
I
know that it
guess.
is either. I mean, that
It's
creature's
not,
definitely
it's
not
true.
called sword.
It's not. It's
It's
called.
sword
They're like
Pokemon.
Zekrom and Zerayon or something like that.
I mean, it's just since it's like the sword Pokemon, I don't know. I expected maybe sword, maybe part of the tail or along the back.
we absolutely thought like swords.
Floating
There's
around
also
it.
a Pokemon that is literally a sword.
Hey,
There is.
a Pokemon that is a sword, and I love that Pokemon. Screw you.
That's what I'm saying. I prefer this over the Pokemon that is literally a sword.
But I still think I agree. Like it even has these like little things here. They could have just put swords, like blades, at the end of these and at the end of its tail, and it could have just had like 3 swords.
That would have been cool.
Okay, I won't deny if those like swooshy tentacle things on the side had swords on the end, that would be pretty boss.
Right? It'd be way cooler.
But you know what? That whole wolf with blade in its mouth thing is a very specific mythological deal that people
It is
like
a myth.
to use.
That's just it. It is a. I believe it is a Japanese mythology thing. So like it makes
Yeah.
sense. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I'm just saying it would have been cooler.
I mean, that does make it better.
Yes,
over that.
Agislash is the name of one of the evolutions of that sword Pokemon. So we wanted to talk about the legendary designs. The big thing we also wanted to talk about is the fact that you kind of saw quickly they were running around in that wild area where they could whistle for Pokemon, ride their bikes and everything. We found out watching the gameplay trailer that we will be able to local wireless play with each other and run around in the wild area together, catching
that's cool.
Pokemon, doing things, and then joining raids to fight them and stuff. And we can just run around together, and we're super stoked
I'm
for
so
that.
excited.
Super
that is actually
fun.
very cool. I like that. I also this kills me every time because it makes perfect sense. I guarantee what happened in the real world if Pokemon were a thing, but I still just love it when you have very specific kinds of people that then find Pokemon that are just very specifically their niche. Like you had that martial artist guy with the
Yep.
like monk-looking Pokemon.
Yep.
I'm like, yep, that's still a thing. It makes me happy.
I know. I want Absol. I hope the one unfortunate thing is that with this game, due to the fact that they wanted to do their best to animate everyone and give them as much personality as possible, since they're now moving on to a Switch, a much higher capacity system. They wanted to give as much personality to each individual Pokemon as possible. Therefore, this is the first game in the main series that will not allow you to move every single Pokemon from the previous regions to it. You can only do things that are in the Galar region Pokedex, move those to it. So there are going to be Pokemon, there are over 800 of them now. There are going to be Pokemon who you're not going to be able to pull into Sword and Shield.
But that's okay because frankly, you can only use 6 at a time, so most people aren't going to use more than like 20 tops on a regular basis anyway.
There are 3 that need to come in, 2 that because I want them, and 1 because the internet demands to see it.
Okay.
I want my Dragonite and I want my Absol. Nothing else has to come with me, but I want those 2. And
his face.
the internet demands to see a Dynamax. That's what the big version of them is called. The internet demands to see a Dynamaxed Whale Lord. I will show you a picture of a Whale Lord, Tarren.
Okay. So while he's looking that up, so Isaac informed me that these games existed before I saw the trailer. So I went and Googled it, and partially because that sheet with a Wooloo. How big are those? How big are whales normally?
Big.
So normally this takes up like yeah, like the size of a blue whale. And people are making meme videos, are making meme photos of all kinds of Dynamaxed Whale Lord things. Like this is a Whale Lord in Pokemon Go. Normal Pokemon Go Whale Lord. Okay. Just to give you an idea.
Dynamaxing is that they get that red outline and turn giant thing. So yes, a Dynamax Whale Lord would be amazing. But so I was looking into this and the Wooloo specifically because she's like they mentioned Wooloo. I'm like, what's that? And so I Googled it. But one of the first things I saw was someone did a fan art thing of a Dynamaxed Wooloo, and I didn't know what that was yet. So I'm like, Isaac, why is the sheep a giant evil looking monster? And he's like, what are you talking about? And I showed him. He's like, oh, and then he told me what it was. I'm like, that's actually kind of awesome.
No, I agree. So this sheep has been this sheep is the second most memed thing.
With everyone talking about Whale Lord causing Dynamaxed Whale Lord causing continental issues.
Yep. So Wooloo is probably is either the first or the second most memed thing we will talk about today. The other one being a certain person who is appearing in a certain set of certain video game that'll be coming out later this year for Xbox.
Intent. It's in our title card.
It is in our title card. But this thing, they tried to take... PETA made a tweet about Wooloo here.
What?
They
This
tweeted...
like it's strangely related to the whole eating Pokemon thing that was mentioned earlier.
They tweeted like something about... just a second, Madison. We'll show it soon. So the Wooloo... They posted a picture of a Wooloo, and it was something along the lines of... Remember that, like, the wool industry is corrupt and evil.
It said something along the lines of, "I'm not your sweater."
Yeah, I'm
not your Wooloo sweater.
It literally just was a Wooloo with a sign that said, "I'm not your Wooloo sweater." And the internet cracked down on people trying to fight against on PETA trying to use Wooloo as their thing. Don't you touch our cute, adorable Pokemon. Don't do this. Don't attack an industry that has bad people, but the sheep need to be sheared. It's an actual thing that needs to happen. Shut up.
Dang.
PETA got, like Rohith just said, PETA got dragged again. Because earlier this year or last year they tried to talk about the crocodile hunter like he was a bad dude, and the internet killed PETA. So
yeah.
Go ahead.
So let's show them that the Koryu Pokemon that was being requested.
This is Whomper. It's an adorable little corgi Pokemon.
So cute.
That we're also looking forward to.
It's got a little heart.
It has a little heart butt. Why does this make you sad?
Because I can tell it's supposed to be a Corgi, but maybe it's just because I saw some today, but all I can see is a Chihuahua.
Yes, Zacian and Zamazenta are the name of the legendaries.
Oh, okay. So real quick, Isaac, somebody asked what Dynamax was. Would you pull that up in the trailer again?
Yeah, I can pull up the Dynamaxed. So this is
Dynamaxing
literally a
is something-
Dynamaxed. This right here is literally a Dynamaxed Raichu. This is a
Dynamaxing
2-scale
makes them
human.
giant yeah, Dynamaxing makes them giant and presumably more powerful and whatnot. But so we're talking about Dynamaxed X, Y, or Z. That
it does make them more powerful. It makes all of their attacks like epic and all of that. I know. I do agree. Load Real High. Yeah, a game of they've ground to the dirt the fact that they hate Pokemon because it's fighting animals, but then they went and used a Pokemon to fight against something else, which I think is the funniest thing.
Well, do you remember
for everyone who may not have missed that, or may have missed that in the comments? We had someone say a game about commercial animal fighting, and they try to use it to demonize the wool industry.
Right. Which is just the dumbest thing ever. But yeah, Sara actually just reminded me. PETA made a anti-Pokemon game that was like, yeah, your Pikachu just got bloody the whole time, and it was a horribly graphic Pokemon game that showed all of the horrors of animal cruelty and animal fighting.
And Nintendo and what's the names that are all of Pokemon sued them for using their stuff without
I think they did, actually.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Because I guarantee they didn't approve that.
Yeah. By the way, Tarren, we don't have a length for Wailord. What we do have is a height and a weight.
Oh, sweet Moses. All right, let's hit it.
The weight is a lie.
The weight is a lie. Okay.
But the height is 47 feet, 6.9 inches tall.
Okay. So roughly 2 to 3 times that long.
Long, yeah. So like 100 to 150-ish feet long. 877 pounds.
Is it made of air?
That
must be.
That being said, they also think that who is it? The Snake Rock.
Onyx?
Onyx. They
Or
also
Steelix?
think Onyx weighs like 50 to 100 pounds,
Something really light, yeah.
and he's just
So,
nothing but
Taylor,
giant rocks.
he's actually got a thin plating of stone, but it's entirely organic inside.
Right.
Need to
all right.
dissect it.
And don't
Anyway,
worry,
I think-
Madison. I get it. If people hate Pokemon because animals are fighting for trainers, I get that. I understand it. I can understand that view. That being said, people also hate Grand Theft Auto because you go and shoot people. People gonna
That's
hate what
not
they
the
hate.
same thing at all.
Is it?
No. You have an in-universe understanding of this is okay versus a game about crime.
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that.
It's not okay in the Grand Theft Auto universe. It's still crime. That is, that is the most apples to grapefruit
apples to
comparison I've
grenades.
ever seen.
Apples
Oh
to
my
grenades.
gosh.
That's what it was. I th-
Also, is there anything else you'd like to say on the Pokemon?
I think that's it for me. Do
Since
you
we
have anything you want to say,
spent most
Sarah?
time bashing PETA. No,
Or was that it?
I will say that the game looks great. I think it looks like it'll be very fun. I haven't played a Pokemon game in ages. I probably still won't because this requires a system I don't have and time I
Don't have the money.
But you know, it looks like it'll be cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, any final thoughts, Sarah?
I agree with that. I'm really excited for it, especially for that multiplayer aspect and to be able to do the raids and play together.
That is
I'm
Yeah.
excited about that.
I think the biggest draw is definitely that whole multiplayer Pokemon thing.
The multiplayer thing. I'm so looking forward to playing a tank in Pokemon. Because there are so many abilities that I never use in Pokemon, like all the beefing abilities. I just put attack abilities on all my Pokemon because unless you're going to be going in tournaments, that's all you need. So I'm excited to actually have a use for those in game now.
It's true. I can actually have a healer Pokemon in a party.
Right?
buff
Yeah,
everybody.
exactly. You don't play as a 10-year-old getting your gun and hook. Whoa, okay.
See, it's not the same.
Yes, you are right. Let's get off of the subject of guns and those and move on to
So,
hopefully
what-
at least actually the next game might have those things as well.
Well, one more thing.
Well, maybe you
I
should
do
pick
have
a
to
different game.
agree that animal fighting is bad, and if Pokemon were real in this world, I don't think we should be fighting them.
And Sarah also wouldn't be one of those people who would fight them for training. She absolutely wouldn't.
Probably do more of like the contest
Yeah.
stuff.
So this is the only thing that we have a full presentation from.
everyone.
Yes. Bye, Sarah.
Farewell. You know, there is just a trailer for it.
There is, but I have to go through this, and that
Okay.
happened.
I
At
haven't
the,
seen the meme, so I'm familiar.
that happened at the
presentation.
presentation.
So this is for Cyberpunk 2077. And here we go.
And here we go. I was able to. So Sarah and I actually watched the Xbox pre. What's it called, babe?
Pre-stream or whatever that.
Yeah,
they
the
were doing
pre-stream.
beforehand.
The briefing.
But yeah,
Xbox briefing.
yeah, Xbox's briefing. That's right, Xbox E3 briefing.
Okay.
It was literally just a here's everything that we're gonna announce and talk more about at E3 before E3. So we were able to watch it live, and we got to see this live, and it was super awesome to see. I think the game looks great, and I am looking forward to seeing
So
how
did
it
you actually
is.
get to see some gameplay then?
No,
Okay.
I just look forward to this. Sadly, Sarah
Okay.
says bye. Thank you all. You're all so sweet, saying hi and bye to Sarah. It's so nice.
As
She
opposed
feel-
to this entire scenario, which is not nice at all.
Right. She feels very loved, by the way.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank
man.
you for Thank you
I
all for
wanted
being
Joltex.
wonderful people. We appreciate it genuinely.
Yeah, Madison, the fact that you want a Joltik is not at all surprising to me. You do like spiders, so that makes sense.
Fighters are cool.
Joltik is fighter?
I'm pretty sure Joltik is the like electric spider Pokemon that's the size of a hand.
We are going to the major leagues, Jackie.
Here we are again. The life of crime.
Right?
The highs and the lows.
Back to crime. Hopefully we
But
won't
it's
have that second half.
futuristic
Though.
cybercrime, which makes it cooler. And as bad as that sounds, it's true.
I mean, it is true, at least in our current, world. As far as we're concerned, as long as it doesn't happen now.
It would be
If
the
it
same
happened
if
in the
wasn't
past,
crime, they could be doing cyber legal
Yeah.
stuff too, and it would still be cooler because,
cyber stuff.
it's a cyborg apparently.
But I will say, I feel like in our modern day, it's like as long as it's not stuff that happens in today's world, we don't care as much. If it happened in the past, or if it's a fake future, we don't care what goes on.
Just a real quick side note: the fact that he didn't see this coming.
Right? I called it when he came in. Like,
He's like, "Oh, things aren't looking good." He's like, "Go wash up." I'm like, all right, either you're really friendly or he's about to get screwed. And also, those knives are very nasty, but also not super efficient. I feel they're really big and bulky.
Still very cool though. I apologize everyone if it's a little fuzzy. That just means our connection isn't as amazing as it could be, but I hope that it will fix itself soon.
I think they were talking about Joltik because I did.
Oh, that makes more sense. Also, the fact that this is a thing that she can at range hack your crap is horrifying to me.
See, I'm sitting here going, why doesn't everyone have that? Because of course that exists. There's no way these guys that have got like implants literally up to their eyes don't live in a world where someone can go, I'm going to hack you now.
Yeah, but like from range without, well, I guess.
Ready?
Wake the up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Yes, that is in fact Keanu Reeves.
So, real quick before we get to the other 4 minutes of this, it was announced that Keanu Reeves' character will have the most lines in the game after the main character. So after your player, he will have the most spoken lines.
Yep, gotcha. I do agree, Logical High. If this is like a Shadowrunner thing, that would have been the smart thing to do. Just take him out right then and there.
He really should have. The only reason not to is because then, like, he's dead in the hall. Please welcome Keanu Reeves. Gotta love that they had Halo announcer bring in Keanu Reeves.
I'm announcing a video game. This is kind of weird.
Right?
I gotta talk to you about something.
Stop cheering for a minute.
CD Projekt Red. Cyberpunk 2077. All right. A while back, the guys from CD Projekt Red approached me and asked me to be a part of their new project, Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh yeah, Novad, we were also in the chat when when this happened. Everybody was like, "It's John Wick! It's John Wick! Oh my gosh, it's John Wick!" It was hilarious.
And it's not something I knew before, but I was excited by.
Sarah's saying that I was in the bathroom, and I was like, "What's happening? What's going on?"
Cyberpunk is set in a metropolis of the future, where body modification has become an obsession.
Bill S. Preston, heck yeah!
An enhanced mercenary working in the sleazy underbelly of the city. Yeah. Okay, but let me tell you, the feeling of being there, of walking the streets of the future, is really going to be breathtaking.
You're breathtaking from somebody in the audience, and he responds with, "You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking." And
All right. So I guess I gotta finish this. So tell me, do you guys want to know when the release date? Yeah. All right. Then check this out. Ready now?
Whoosh, I like his little wall. Oh, sorry, we do see a tiny bit of like.
we see a tiny bit.
Footage.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit.
Okay, I'm in.
Few have gone through to the other side.
Let's do this.
I feel like that means you actually died and then brought back somehow. Which sounds
Right.
awful.
So I'm super excited. The internet fell in love with Keanu Reeves once again because he was already like pretty famous. Everybody knew him. Everybody knows Keanu Reeves. He's a really sweet guy. Everybody knows him. But that whole "you're a wonderful person. You're a wonderful person. You're all, beautiful people. I have to keep going with this thing," has just made everyone fall in love with him even more. He's just the sweetest guy. Things have been posted about him, how he doesn't he specifically will not touch female fans who want to take a photo with him. So he will stand there and they will take a selfie, but he does not like do the classic like putting his arm around their waist thing that a lot of celebrities will do. He specifically doesn't touch them, and the internet is just falling in love with him more and more every day.
Okay.
And
I don't know.
I'm looking forward to the game. And I feel like we really talked about the game all that we would have. You talked about how you think his knives are inefficient.
No, I actually have some very specific things I need to say.
Oh, you
about
have
the
some
game.
very specific things. Okay, he has some very specific things. Listen to his specific things, everyone.
It's just, and I feel bad because I'm gonna take this down a little bit.
Oh no.
Real quick before I do, somebody asked if this is just coming out for Xbox. I was looking it up while that was going. No, it's supposed to be released for Xbox, PS4, and PC. So it's coming
It
out.
was just. It's
things.
just. It was announced at Xbox's briefing, so Xbox got slightly more hype over it.
So this game has been in the works for what I haven't checked, but it feels like 6 or something years now, and I still have yet to see any meaningful gameplay footage. So I will not care about this game until it comes out. Period. Like
Okay.
that's it. I will not care about this game until the date's released and I can see something about it, because it has been in development for so long that I'm just like, with nothing, with like no anything to us. This is the most we've seen on it, even though we've known that it's been around and being developed for ages. So I'm just like, Keanu Reeves is not enough to get me to play a game.
Okay.
It's awesome. He's enough to get me to watch a movie. He's not enough to get me to play a game.
Okay.
And I hope that he's awesome, and I look forward to it. I hope it is the greatness that everyone wants it to be. I do like cyberpunk settings, even though it has the most horrible. They all share this one particular
Law.
technological advancement decision that seems like the worst idea in the world to me. But
It wasn't a stab at Vic Mignogna. I'm a huge fan of his voice acting. I'm not necessarily a fan of him as a person. That being said, it doesn't mean that other people have not made that correlation.
I must have missed that. But yeah, there's this thing in all of cyberpunk where people jack their brains into computers. And in every one of those versions, there's crazy firewall things that will literally fry your brain.
Yeah.
You know what doesn't happen to real hackers? You know what wouldn't happen to a normal hacker in that situation? You might fry their computer, their brain is fine.
Yeah.
Why would you ever hook
To
your
do it-
brain up to something that is going to try and kill you?
To do it faster, man.
Yeah, I don't freaking care.
See, but there are people who do, and that's the difference.
It's not worth it. It is not worth it, man.
So I am excited. I'm excited enough by Keanu Reeves, by the look of it. I also didn't know that it had been in development for a few years. I was not aware of that. So
Yeah, we've basically seen
There's
like
that.
someone says there was some gameplay footage released months ago. I missed that. Mostly you've just seen the same scene / still for ages, like Cyberpunk 2077 coming eventually.
Okay.
Great. That's great. That's great, guys. I'm happy that it finally has a physical release date. Supposedly, we'll see if it gets kicked back. I'm jaded. We'll see. I
I'm
hope it's
jaded. I'm jaded. Moving on.
That's me in a nutshell. If there's a one-word description of Tarren, I'm jaded.
I'm jaded. Moving on. So let's go on to the next Nintendo game.
Oh, okay. This is Zelda Link's Awakening.
Remastered.
This is a remake. This is a remake / remaster of an old, much older. I mean,
Much older. We're talking Game Boy Advance.
If that. Yeah, no,
Or no, it was Game Boy Color. That's right.
yeah,
This
like,
was all the way
we're
back
talking
Game
like
Boy
old,
Color.
original Zelda style graphics. It was
Yeah.
an old thing.
No. So the only real things I have to say about this is it's Zelda. It looks pretty. I'm excited. That being said, Breath of the Wild, I'm more excited for.
Yeah, I never played the old one, and so I don't have any particular excitement around this one. It looks great and fun and cute and pretty, and I'm sure it'd be a blast. But I mean, that's really all I have to say about it. I don't have much to say on this one.
Yeah.
I do know that if they didn't change the story,
Mm-hmm.
it's incredibly freaking depressing. But yeah.
Yeah.
I won't spoil that for anyone who hasn't played it and wants to play this game.
Hey, Dompe. Oh, that's right. That is one big thing that they changed. They made it so that you can make your own little dungeons and challenge other people to them.
Oh, is that what the section is? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Novad, I agree. Like, this is definitely the tier 2 Zelda release.
Oh, for sure. This is definitely the. I mean,
so for the
yeah,
audience,
this
he
is
said,
here,
after
but
Breath of
okay.
the Wild, I just don't care about this. It's like, yeah, no, this is definitely the number 2.
Yeah, for sure. Since though we were talking, go ahead.
Carmine's just making me feel old. That's all. Says, wait, is Game Boy Color considered old? It feels like just last year some days, and I'm like, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
When I was a young boy, they came out with the Game Boy Color. It was considered revolutionary.
Dude, I don't
It
even
is now a
remember.
dinosaur.
I'm so young that I don't remember the Game Boy Color coming out. I remember it existing, basically, but I don't remember. I don't have memories of it coming out. Is all I'm saying. I'm not saying that it came out before I was born. I'm saying it came out before I started developing permanent memories.
All right.
Of course you did. You're 3 years older than me.
Hush now.
Sarah's like, I had a Game Boy Color. I'm like, yeah, I know.
I remember Game Boy.
Okay. So, since we're on the subject of remakes, here we go.
Oh yes, this is the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I'm sure the internet lit up about since they were so mad.
All the lit up about.
What was the console? Was it the PS4 where they're like, this was just a graphical demo? And
No, it was the PS3.
People?
So it was a whole generation ago. They did a graphic teaser where
they did a graphical demo of this is what this console could do, and it was some opening bits from Final Fantasy VII, and it was like, are they remaking Final Fantasy VII? And they're like, no, it's just a graphic demo. Why would you tease us like that? And so now, like, however many years later, so you guys wanted this. Here.
So here you go. Oh, the music's even there. That's ooh. I didn't actually listen to the trailer last time. I just kind of watched it in the background. That materia is huge.
Yeah, it is.
You think he's a keeper?
Barrett for the win. The full disclosure, I played all the way through this game.
I did not
beat weapons because I suck. But I'm one of those people who my main team was the big three: Barrett, Tifa, Cloud.
due to the fact that I love the Final Fantasy series, but I never beat Final Fantasy VII originally, I'm going to play this one. It seems to have a very similar play style to Final Fantasy XIII, where you seem to be able to switch between your party, play through everyone.
It's interesting you say that, because I'm looking at the combat and going, this is clearly drawn from 15.
Well,
and it's
the difference is that 15 you couldn't switch between the characters. You could only play Noctis. And 15 and 13 were still very similar. So, and yes, I agree, David. This is exactly how it looked in Advent Children. I don't know, I haven't looked up the cast list. I hope they did get the cast list that they got for Advent Children in this, because that would be awesome.
I have literally no idea. It's been a long time since I've seen that. And
but
I'll be interested to see. For me, Novad says he's passing on this game, which I completely understand, because it's long and
long and it's a remake. Like, if you don't want to play it,
if you played it before, there's no real reason to, except to be like, oh, this is really cool looking. But I feel like it's been long enough that there's also plenty of people who have heard of this. I mean, I think this is sort of like the Zelda Ocarina of Time of the Final Fantasy series for most of the world.
For sure.
Because I think most of the first 6 didn't get released outside of Japan, I don't think, until way later.
Final Fantasies 1, 2, and 3 were released in Japan only, and then starting Final Fantasy 4 started being released in the US, and then they had to re-release 1 through 3, and then the rest all came out.
But way more than I do.
But Final Fantasy VII is what made it popular in the North Americas. You heard me.
So dark. Carmine says,
talking about Carmine.
Gang, don't bother leveling Aerith.
That's just mean.
SLR, that's totally fine. It's late-ish for us here too. If you need to go to sleep, go to sleep. Thanks for stopping by.
So real quick before you go though, let's go over the last one just real quick. The last big one I think for our channel that, in my opinion, we really do need to talk about, because we have discussed it on the channel. And holy crap, has the lore related to it exploded over the last few days.
This is not it.
This is not it.
Game.
This is literally a different game.
It's good, by the way.
It does look good. We weren't going to talk about it yet today, because we have a long list.
Doom Eternal, and that chainsaw's loud.
Yes, it is. This is Doom Eternal. Like I said, our Doom lore blew up, everyone. Have a good night, SLR, and sorry that if we called you a guy.
Not us.
Okay. So I will say, I think one of the coolest things to come out of this commercial is that we see angels.
Yeah, there are things that look very angelic.
Well, and it's I don't know if you heard it, but he said something about, like, you will pull down all of the rage of heaven and hell or something like that. So, and that's when we saw the angels. So we get to see angels, and I'm excited for that.
They're pissed off too.
Also, I don't know if you noticed it, but our Doomslayer lost his sleeves and became very close to Doom Guy in his outfit now.
Became very what?
Very close to Doom, like classic Doom Guy in his outfit now.
A bit more like that, yeah. He lost his sleeves. He gained an arm blade and a
shoulder cannon. So yeah, you can see it here. This is him. He has his arms. He has a shoulder cannon. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm most excited to that. I realized I didn't get to the release date. Hang on.
Like, you realize you cut the video short, right?
I mean, that's basically it.
Except for the giant.
Nobody cares about the giant.
Nobody cares about the giant?
Nobody cares about the giant.
You're not worried about having to kill a 40-story demon? Because you know we're gonna have to kill that.
Of course we're gonna have to kill that. So 11/22/19. My only hope is that we finish Doom 2016 before Doom Eternal comes out, so that we can then go into Doom Eternal on the channel. That's my only hope.
All right. And no, Novad, you are not the only one who saw what looks like angels. We are also going, wait, what?
Yes, for sure.
For Lodril High, I'm gonna go with no, because it kind of looks like humanity got wrecked.
Yeah.
But it's closer, I think.
Yeah, for sure. But as of yet, it's a Doom game, guys. You go around, you shoot, and you blow things up.
There will be blood. There will be gore. That guy strikes me as like one of the Night Sentinels.
Do you think he might? Do you think he might be a seraphim, the angel that we see?
No. Well, the ghost looking dude. I don't think he is. No, I think
Okay.
they're two. I think they're two different things. Yeah. I don't know the exactitudes.
Yeah. But I'm excited. But yeah, like I said, it's a Doom game. It's gonna be like most of the other Doom games.
Trailer for this. You're way more mobile.
Oh, lots more running.
Well, not even more running. You get there's the running. There's a double jump, and then I don't know if it's specifically.
Oh yeah,
mounted
you
to that
see,
weapon or not,
there's like a dash or
like
something.
A grapple hook shot thing that you can swing around with, and that's part of the environment. Like you can swing on things.
And I see that he has like a dash, like he's kind of dodging back and forth.
It does seem like he has some sort of dash-ish mechanic. Yeah, so he's a way more mobile Doomslayer, which is both awesome and means things are going to murder me.
Things are gonna murder Tarren for sure. But we're excited for it. It looks really cool. And just because we have already taken kind of an hour and a half, I want to just go over the other games that I'm most excited for, that Tarren's most excited for. And there was a story that started coming out last night between Tarren and I want to know how.
I vaguely recall that I said something that surprised him, but he's gonna have to remind me what this. Oh yeah.
Wasn't always like this.
So this is Star Wars.
Star Wars Jedi Lost Order.
There are
Fallen Order. Fallen Order.
Fallen Order.
Don't stand out.
Oh, you're very welcome, Carmine. I mean, that's English,
Accept the
but
past.
you're welcome.
To be fair, we read it as Carmine because Gears, or at least I do.
I read it as Carmine because that's how it's written. But anyway, lasers.
Lasers.
I love that this ship thing like crashed on top of what looks like a freaking Sarlacc. And don't worry, guys, you don't have to rhyme for that. Just pay attention to where this guy's falling.
Yeah.
Like this big old ship just crashed onto a Sarlacc pit or something.
The Jedi have fallen.
Don't stand out.
Because you know it's that era.
Yep.
Accept
Look at the adorable robot. My biggest question, and I hope that they address it, is where exactly did he get his lightsaber from?
He looks like he's standing in a Jedi council room to me, so I think he literally picked it up out of some Jedi ruins. Because if you see the pay attention to the shot at the end, guys, when he's talking about that lightsaber's busted.
Oh.
So I think he finds it, fix it. If you look at the bottom, it's busted.
Oh, it is busted, and that you are absolutely correct. That was the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. Those two statues in the background.
It looks very Jedi Temple-ish to me.
You are absolutely right. Become a Jedi, 11/15/19. What is with everything releasing September? October, November? That's November.
Things were ready. And yeah,
Right?
that's actually November. But, you know, that November, December holiday time is a pretty common release deal. That's a lot of...
Last night, I thought that Star Wars was going to be high on this list. I'm super excited.
We based this list of what we're going through first on like what we were most interested in, what we're both most hyped for, you know.
And we were discussing how like I thought Tarren might not be interested in Pokemon as much because he hasn't played one in a while. And then I brought up Star Wars, and he's like, "I'm more interested in Pokemon than I am Star Wars." And I'm like,
I'm about as
"Excuse
interested,"
me?
I said.
No. You said you were as
stuff yet.
You said you were as interested.
Yeah.
You said you were as interested in something else.
You don't even know. I haven't seen it. I don't know. I'm probably about as interested in it as I am in Star Wars. And he's like, what?
No, you were as interested in Pokemon as you were in something else. Star Wars was below it. I remember that explicitly. So I want to know, what is it that Star Wars doesn't have? Oh my gosh, I am sorry, everyone. That Star Wars doesn't have for you that makes you like not.
So it's
hyped.
not so much what it doesn't have. I did finally see some gameplay footage, so it's a little bit there. From the gameplay footage I've seen, it looks okay. It's not done yet, so I'm sure that's time to get better. Or maybe just someone who isn't a horrible commentator playing this for the first time will just it'll flow better when you're actually playing it or something. But this kind of just goes back to me being jaded. So again, up until like yesterday, I hadn't seen a gameplay trailer. I'd only seen this trailer, and I'm like, I have been bitten and failed so hard by Star Wars games in the past, specifically Star Wars games from EA. And I'm not bashing. And for the record, I'm not one of those people who hates EA. There's loads of EA games out there I love. So I'm not one of those like, oh, it's an EA game, it must be garbage. No, I'm like, all right, does the game actually look like it's good or if it's garbage? And that's what I judge it on. So I'm not like an EA hater, but Star Wars games and EA Star Wars games specifically don't have a good rep for me personally. And so this is just one of those like I'm reserving judgment. I really hope it's good because conceptually it sounds like a great story. I it could be great. And maybe it'll be a really good story and just okay gameplay, or maybe it'll be or maybe it'll be great. I don't really know. But I'm not holding out. That's not the right way to say this because I am hoping for it, but I'm not like holding my breath and going, "Oh, this is gonna be great." I'm just like, I hope it's good.
Okay.
I've been burned before. It's hard for me to get excited about Star Wars games because they're so often done badly.
What was the game that had The Apprentice in it? What was that called?
The Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed. Because the gameplay looks very similar to Force Unleashed. And I loved those games, and you really liked those games too.
Well, in regards to that, so like from the gameplay trailer I saw, it looks like a much slower paced version of Force Unleashed.
Okay.
Which is not necessarily bad, and again, it could have been just the way that person was playing. I do like conceptually the idea of this character, the guy who's like, because something that's not really addressed in wider media stuff, like the closest thing you got in the movies to seeing it is kind of Rey, is that people just in this universe, you can be born and you can be able to tap into the Force. You don't need training for it. The training for it is just like anything else. It's like the difference between someone who's grown up on the streets brawling and fighting versus a martial artist. Like they're both gonna beat the crap out of you, but the one who's learned more knows more. And so that's like the only. And so I like the idea of this basically what is very clearly just a Force sensitive guy, kind of learning to do his thing while whatever else is going on. Because that has been one like major sticking point is he's not a Jedi yet. He's not a Jedi yet. He's not a Jedi yet. You're going to become a Jedi as the game goes on, maybe, or something like that. Like, but he's just a dude with Force powers, and also clearly the staff wielding Darth Vader chick has Force powers too.
Has some kind of Force sensitivity as well, yeah.
But yeah, he's a Force sensitive that is just a normal guy and figures it out and goes, "Oh, look what I can do."
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm all down for that. I'm totally down for that. I hope the game's good.
You're holding out hope, but you're not confident.
I'm not expecting much. That's what it boils down to.
Okay, I can understand
love it to be good. I want it to be good. I hope it's good for there's a lot of reasons I would really like it to be good, not just because I want a good game. But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not holding out. I'm not. Yeah.
So quick comments, catch up. Have you guys heard the Pokemon thing going on about with not being able to transfer many Pokemon? I specifically talked about that. That might have been during the time you were gone, Carmine. I'm sorry. But yeah, I did talk about that when we were talking about Pokemon. I feel the same way. I prefer the Sith. Depends on the Sith or the Jedi, personally. It's hard to trust EA these days. They overwork their employees so bad. I haven't heard anything about that. I'm sure it's true because EA sucks at life. But also EA sucks at life. They keep putting out non-finished games. They're one of the many companies who's putting out unfinished games. Like I said, one of the many. But EA hasn't been, one of the best publishers recently, in my opinion. So there's that opinion there. Bad track record, yeah. To Loader High, I hope you can get that for him, because I'm sure he'd enjoy it. Let's take a look here, and we have somebody who very much agrees with you.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say the franchise is exciting because I'm a Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars stuff. I've played games, I've read books, I've played the role-playing game. I'm a fan of all things Star Wars, and actually this version, what's the time period called? Like that rebellion time period where the Emperor's in power and whatnot is my favorite one. It has that sort of grittiness isn't the right word, but less flashy that I really enjoy. But it's one of those. It's just EA specifically has a bad track record with Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I'm not great about that.
And I can agree with that. We have discussed in the past, but yeah, the track record that they have for things like Battlefront, they weren't amazing games, and they very much could have been better.
Yeah. Actually, I think Carmine's response here pretty much sums up my feelings on that. Man, I want to be hyped for this game, but I can't let EA hurt me like they've done before. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah. I can agree with that, and I can understand that, and that I accept. But yeah, when Tarren very first was like, I'm equally or more excited for Pokemon than I am this game, I was flabbergasted after
you
the
guys should have
explanation.
seen it, like his eyes were bugging out of his head because he knows how much of a Star Wars fan I am, and he's like, "What?"
Yeah. So due to the fact that we've already kind of gone almost 2 hours, I figure we have about 10 minutes left. So I figure we can just
some stuff.
Yeah, let's just kind of lightning round this. So here's our little list, guys,
of stuff we wanted to get through.
So Gears 5 looks really cool. Looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, Gears 5 is another one I'm kind of holding out on, just because whenever there's only anything that's only cinematic trailers, I can't get excited for it until I see the actual game.
And I will say
I want
their cool
trailer.
Their 3-player go into the enemy stronghold and then escape after poisoning everything looks awesome. I'm looking forward to that game mode. It looks super fun.
I feel like that's the campaign, not just the game mode. But yes,
no, that's one of the game modes that's going to be going along with Horde, like the Horde.
Oh, okay.
It's a multiplayer online experience thing. That's a
that
game
lightning
mode.
That lightning knife from the trailer looks boss. I don't know if they're like adding super modes to this, and that's one of them, or what that is. But I'm down. We already sort of briefly touched on Dark Crystal Tactics,
and that's basically
really it.
To me. It's literally a Dark Crystal Universe tactics game.
Looks pretty basic, but it makes me happy. So I've been looking into it later.
Yeah, and it was one of for Madison. It was one of our favorite movies too. Like, well, not favorite, but it was definitely up there. It was a really fun movie. We really enjoyed it. We're looking forward to the Netflix series, but the game is very basic looking. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. You get to play a vampire. I'm excited. More vampire games, please.
Well, also I've heard amazing things about the first one. So
Okay.
if this is like as good as the first one, that is probably pretty good. I've watched gameplay trailer for it and stuff too. Looks great. Lots of different abilities. If it's like the other one, I think your abilities are kind of based upon what sort of vampire you choose.
Yeah.
Because one thing they touch on in that cinematic trailer is that like it's broken up into like different tribes or clans on the different places, and I think each one of those had different abilities.
Yeah, like the
So
Nosferatu clan and things like that. And
right.
yeah,
But so that
I'm
looks really great. I hope. And also as a side note, the biggest complaint we have about not just us, but that's been made about like Vampire, the game that we're playing right now, is that it's a lot more talking than it is action. Uh, if
Vampire the
that is your thing,
Masquerade.
if that is your only beef with Vampire, go play go play the Masquerade Bloodlines
Masquerade
2, because
Bloodlines.
that will definitely
Well, the
have. It's
Bloodlines
got
game
a if
series.
yeah, it's definitely got more combat, maybe a better balance. I'm not sure, but yeah.
So we have not played the first Bloodlines game. I would love to now that I know it exists. But
It says
I'm no, I know, but I didn't know before this E3 that Vampire the
okay.
Masquerade Bloodlines was a thing.
I've
So
heard of it and I'd seen it on Steam and stuff, but there's people I know that say, "Oh, this game's amazing. We love it so much," but
yeah,
I've
so
never
I'm
actually
looking
played
forward
it
to it. Real quick, somebody asked, "What's your opinion on Monster Hunter World Iceborne?" Um,
It's awesome.
we did not put it on this list because it was not part of E3. It was just announced. It was announced recently, but it was not announced at E3 specifically.
But they did do some extended
Oh,
stuff
did they
on.
do some stuff? I missed that. Okay. I'm looking forward to it. I love Monster Hunter. I have a lot of friends who are super pumped about it. And honestly, I am very impressed with the price. We were looking at the prices. The digital deluxe edition is $49.99,
Okay.
whereas the base version is like $39.99. So I'm impressed with that because usually with expansions and stuff, it's a whole nother game worth of price for the base one. So I am super excited for that.
For you, Lodral High, there's a whole bunch of stuff that got released. We know we missed stuff. We know there were things we didn't see. This
Oh,
was
yeah.
just sort of what we came across. Of this looks cool. This looks
This
cool. This
this
looks
is what
cool.
we came across, and
So
this is also a condensed list. There are about 30 other things that I wanted to add to this list, but was like, we were only going to spend an hour to a half hour to an hour, and we've already spent 2.
yeah,
So this is
partially
already a
because there's
condensed
a lot
list.
to just talk about, and partially because we weren't sure people would want to sit here and discuss with us, but
Eh.
we were wrong on that last part. So
I told
so
him. I told him that this would be a thing, and everybody would want to keep talking, but he didn't believe
I
me.
was skeptical because I am always skeptical.
Um,
Anyway, moving
so,
on.
Halo Infinite. I love the whole Halo series, but as Tarren put it last night, it just the trailer itself kind of just leaves you with, okay, cool, and then what happens? And so I'm
It's like,
excited to play
all
it,
right,
but
I know
it's a Halo
almost
game.
exactly as much as I knew at the end of Halo 4.
Yeah,
Except that now there's obviously going to be like a 20-year time jump.
again.
So bad things have happened, and Cortana probably conquered the galaxy. But we all want Cortana to come back and be friends because she's too cool for that crap.
Yep. Super looking forward to that. Minecraft Dungeon is straight up Diablo craft. It is a Diablo style Minecraft world. It looks fun, it looks stupid, and I'm going to enjoy it when it comes out.
All right.
So many
is
exciting
Halo
games,
2
yes.
there.
Oh,
All right.
Madison, fire your guns. It's time to run, blow me away. Yeah.
Okay.
So Super Mario Maker 2. It's Super Mario Maker 2.
2. More stuff, more awesome. Go enjoy.
It's more stuff, more awesome. It's on the Switch.
Yeah, I never played anything with the first one, but I know you did and you enjoyed it.
I enjoy everything Mario, so they hooked me when I was very, very young, and I've kept going back ever since.
And the claw that's still deep in you.
Smash Bros is getting 2 new DLC characters. One is the main character from the
sets.
two different sets. One is the Dragon Quest main character is coming in as one character that you can change the skin of to look like any of the main characters, but they function the same way. They have a sword and a shield. It looks awesome. And number 2 is Banjo and Kazooie are coming in as a playable combo. So that looks awesome. But they're
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
yeah,
sorry.
But that's it. And so yeah, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I loved Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2. I forced Tarren and our buddy and other people to play that game with me until they got sick and tired of it and told me, "No, go away." Um, that was literally a thing that started to happen because they were sick and tired of playing that game over and over and over again.
Well, the problem with those kinds of games is eventually you have to play the beginning several times, and
Yeah.
maybe you only get to the end 2 or 3 times, but you play the beginning like 12, and you're like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah, I will say
It does
it
look good
looks
though. I
it
will
looks
say
good.
that,
It
like,
looks like
a
it's
couple spots.
essentially the same thing though, and so I hope there are a few differences from the previous ones with all of our new available advancements.
I'm
But
sure
we'll
that
see. But we'll see what
I
happens
would like
there.
to point out in that trailer, there's a point where Magneto gets a hold of what I think is the Power Stone. He's like, "Even with this in my hands, I'm not sure we'll be able to finish this fight." I'm like, "I don't care who you are. Magneto with a Power Stone is their metal. He has won.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
that.
no, I agree.
End of story. Moving on."
Um so Borderlands 3. I have just gotten back into Borderlands with 6 arms coming out of her back. I'm down.
Real quick, for those who aren't aware, they also released a free DLC if you own Borderlands 2. That is
It's
sort of
free.
immediate.
I
Huh?
want to say it's free for the next week, couple of weeks or so. Then they're gonna charge.
Anyway, it's
Did
free
we
right
die or
now
is it?
if you own Borderlands already, or if you have the Game Pass on Xbox. It's a DLC that sets up the stuff for Borderlands 3 to tell you what the story has been and why maybe Lilith doesn't have siren powers anymore, for example. All that kinds of stuff. I too was sort of like, "Oh, Borderlands 3 is coming out." Okay,
So hang
because I
on,
never
Taryn.
finished
It looks
2
like we're
because
having
Isaac and I never
some
finished 2.
Taryn.
But what?
Taryn. It looks like we're having some stream lag pretty hard. So can you guys still hear us, and it's just fuzzy, or um, or is it gone entirely? Well, so Sarah says it's still good and you guys can hear us. So I'm gonna hope that's the case and it's just fuzzy. So yeah, and it looks like it is. So the stream that Sarah's watching is just catching up now, and it is still there. It's just really really fuzzy.
Buffered for a minute. Okay.
Okay,
All
so
right. So yeah, I wasn't super excited about it until like Isaac mentioned, our buddy and some other people have all gotten back into it, and we're like, "Oh, this is actually pretty fun," because we never finished it. We played through the first one, thought it was great. We never finished the second one. We're sort of kind of doing that right now,
yeah,
but
I have finished the story now, um, and for Borderlands 2, really fun, really good. I just needed a melee person to play apparently, so.
well, quick side note: someone in the comments says that they've announced that the Darksiders 3 DLC comes out in July, which we didn't know. Super exciting.
Oh, so yeah, that'll probably take up random Wednesdays for probably about a month, depending upon how long the DLC is.
The month of July, or maybe the next one too.
Yeah, of July and August. So we'll see how that goes. Super excited for that. And I am honestly excited for Borderlands 3 because the thing that made 2 not fun for me is there wasn't a good beat the crap out of people with melee weapons or your fists class. Whereas in the trailer,
number 1.
yeah, I love Brick. Brick is the boss. Whereas in the commercial for 3, the new Siren grows 6 arms and is constantly seen punching people even when she's not having 6 arms on. So that's my girl, and I'm gonna
You're
beat
like,
the
"I have
crap out
found
of
my character
people.
color."
So, and then was that all you wanted to talk about for Borderlands 3?
Yeah, just but I wasn't originally, but am after the last couple weeks of people doing things, excited for that to come out. So yeah.
Yeah. What, sweetie? Um. Yeah, we talked about the DLC about Darksiders 3. She's not caught up with us yet. Sorry. So we already talked about the Final Fantasy VII Remake. They're also remastering Final Fantasy VIII as well as Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. And there is a new Final Fantasy XIV expansion. We have not had the opportunity to play Final Fantasy XIV, the MMO. I would like to at some point, and maybe some point down the line we will. But at the moment, we have no time for MMOs. We haven't even played WoW in like 2 years, due to doing this channel. So probably not going to be anytime soon. But if you're into Final Fantasy XIV, or if you're into the Final Fantasy series, I've heard nothing but good about Final Fantasy XIV as an MMO.
Sure.
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, it's a Dragon Ball Z Budokai game. And
If you enjoy them, you'll enjoy that.
I really enjoyed the Budokai games. I'm looking forward to it. It looks awesome. Astral Chain, I wish we could have gotten to this one. It looks awesome. The whole idea is that like some weird interdimensional demon things have started coming onto Earth, and we found a way to capture them and control them and use them to fight other versions of themselves. But there's also some kind of weird mind and soul mixing if you capture and stay with one too long. I'm looking forward to it. It looks awesome. It's for the Nintendo Switch, and I want to play it.
Okay.
Outsiders is the thing that we saw a commercial for earlier. Basically, as far as I can tell, it's a first-person shootery thing. I think I'm thinking of something else.
Based on what I'm seeing, it's a 3-player co-op, drop in, drop out, first-person shooter with powers set in a sort of apocalyptic setting.
Okay. So let's see. Madison asks, must ask for D&D advice. Isaac and Tarren, is Necromancer difficult to play by chance? Given I created a character that with that in mind for when I get the chance to learn to play D&D.
It's just a spellcaster. Whether or not it's difficult to play will depend more on the setting.
It also depends on what version of the Necromancer you're playing.
Version of the game you're playing, but
and what version of the game you're playing. Really, the important thing is work with your DM, work with your party, and as long as they are cool with it, it's fine. It's just a spellcaster. So enjoy
in
that.
addition, like, are you playing first edition, second, third, fourth, fifth, etc.?
Please, don't never mention first and second edition on our channel.
First is fine. Second is horrible. Thaco be damned.
Thaco.
Baldur's Gate 1 used Thaco. Anyway.
Yeah, so if it's 5th edition, it should be fine. It's just a spellcaster. So, yeah. Enjoy your game. If you have an awesome DM, it'll be fun. That's all there is to it. Fire Emblem 3 Houses. It looks gorgeous. It is a super sexy Fire Emblem game. It looks fun. The story looks really cool. I'm looking forward to it. It's also on the Switch, so it's going to have some higher graphics capabilities, that's the word, than previous ones. So really looking forward to that. And finally, the new Xbox Project Scarlet. There's a new console.
Ish thing.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's funny because the trailer for it starts out like, we're going to combine console and PC and mobile all into one thing. And then it's like, it's a single piece of hardware. So I'm like, I don't know how or what they're doing, but it is going to be backwards compatible with everything, presumably. So there's that.
Well,
they learned that lesson.
I do know that they have been discussing doing some things to combat some other cloud capable consoles to make it so that you have more. In fact, there have even been discussions between PlayStation and Xbox to allow cross-platform.
Carmine, have a good evening.
Have a good night, Carmine. Between PlayStation and Xbox to allow cross-platforming to cut out some. I think it's Google is making some kind of gaming thing as well, and they're going like, no, you don't get to take all of our people. We're gonna go ahead and work on this other thing to make it so that we don't suffer from losses. I'm excited to see how it runs. I'm excited to see how it goes. I love that our community is awesome and saying good night and welcome back and hi and bye to everyone. It's super sweet. Thank you all for being awesome. That being said, though, we have spent the last 2 hours doing this. This has been really fun, but it did go way longer than I thought it would. Like it went way longer than Tarren thought it would, but I thought it would only last like an hour, hour and a half. But
Thanks for sticking with us, guys. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks
Yeah.
for talking with us and sharing your thoughts on things. And yeah,
yeah. I guess I get to close this out like a YouTuber. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Patreon if you want to do more from that. You guys obviously can stay together and chat as long as this live stream lasts. If not, hopefully you guys can like find a place to go and chat together more. We don't really have a place for that ourselves, but you know, enjoy that. What? Yeah, you guys can always continue in the comments after once we upload the video. For anybody who came in later, I'm going to do my best over the next couple of days to watch through the video and make some time codes. And then post it for you guys again so that you can just click and watch what you want to talk about. So real quick, before I fully close out this live stream, are there any questions, any final, curiosities that you guys have or anything like that you guys want to hear from us before we end this in its entirety? While we're waiting for that, we can go through some comments here. Anna Spidey, this video will be back up hopefully by Monday. Hopefully earlier, but at least by Monday. And you'll be able to go through it. Like I said, I'll be making timestamps so that you'll just be able to click it, and you'll be able to listen to that again. Have a good night, Catherine Lucy. I hope you
Thanks
have
for coming
a
by.
good night.
Hope
Thank
you
you
enjoyed
for
it.
joining us. Sleep well. But yeah, I think that the chat's kind of dying down anyway, so I think it's time to go ahead and let us go. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, if you want to see more of us, let us know what you want to see in the comments down below, as always. And in the meantime, this has been True Masters and Morons, signing off.